3, 2, 1.
Yep. Alright.
Okay.
Okay, well, welcome back. I was browsing Twitter really recently, and have you seen this thing that's come up?
What thing that came up?
J.K. Rowling new book is being called transphobic by activists and reviewers. Can you guess what the plot is of the book?
What?
This cis white male dresses up as a woman to kill other women, and people are saying that's anti-trans. What are your thoughts on that, Zach?
It's probably because she's already anti-trans that they're stretching it out that way. I don't see anything necessarily too horrid, but it's the devil in the details, I guess.
Yeah. I didn't actually know she was anti-trans.
I think she is. People call her a TERF, which is like a trans exclusionary radical feminist or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't expect that from J.K. Rowling. But now that's out of the way,
Dumbledore's gay, but he has
Dumbledore's
a
a little gay
penor.
boy. Ugh. What if the real gays were the friends we made along the way?
Oh, then they wouldn't be our friends anymore, would they?
Yep. Anyway, what do you wanna start talking about? What do you wanna start talking with? Now that that's out of the way, now that that little tidbit's gone.
I'm gonna go back to the ideas and suggestions thing.
Yeah.
That
Well, I mean, we also had some pretty funky stuff happen this week.
I have the memory, attention span, and impulse of a goldfish. You'll have to remind me.
DBFZ patch notes came out, and a lot of
Oh
characters got
hell
buffed.
yeah!
And did anyone really get nerfed?
Yamcha, Base Jita. I think that's it. There's no
Yeah.
really sizable nerfs.
What was Base Cheetah's nerf?
His quarter circle forward heavy is like you teleport behind the enemy and you kick them. It's
Yeah.
similar to Yamcha's, but it's in the air.
Yeah.
It got the same treatment where if it misses, it has a lot slower of a
Recovery time?
yeah, that's the word.
Yeah. But now Android 16 and 17 are good characters in a way. And that makes me happy as an Android 16 and 17 main. I want to have my grabby boy do grabs. I like it.
He can now grab through lasers.
Yes, lasers do not affect the grab now. And 17 can now come to the ground really quickly and really painfully for the other person. But in my opinion, the spacing's a little bit awkward. But it is what it is. Instead of going straight down from where you are, it does a little hop, like a little space hop. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, fun.
I mean, if they just came down, they might be a bit OP.
Yeah, that's fair. But it's like, it's a little hop. What happened to Gotenks? I saw
He
something
got a
about
bunch
him,
of
but I didn't know.
buffs.
Really? Like what are some of the buffs? Zach? Zach, you there?
Yeah, my dad came in and gave me a gluten-free salt and vinegar chip.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but Gotenks essentially plays the same, and every Gotenks fan is happy, and everyone else is still like, I don't care.
What?
Gotenks has had no change to his actual gameplay. It's just that he is just better.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All the
You
combos
just...
still work. There aren't any really new, extremely fascinating combos that we know of.
Okay, yeah. Everything just works now better than it did before. What, did any of your characters that are there any characters that you're genuinely happy that they got nerfed or buffed?
Gogeta, Gogeta, woo! Gogeta is the
Yeah,
reason I bought fighters in the first place.
really?
Yeah, straight no cap. I
What
saw the game
what
and I
was
was
your
like,
thought process?
I had just seen the uh DBS Broly movie, pirated of course.
Yes, amen.
The Lord. R.I.P. Kisanime.
Yep.
And I just really liked it. And I thought Gogeta's still really cool because I also really liked him in Fusion Reborn. And
Oh yeah.
so then, some time passes. The first season of Fighters go by. I'm still like, eh, I'm kind of interested. Then those Lythero videos came out, and I was like, I'm gonna buy when it's on sale. And then Gogeta
Yeah.
came out on the Janemba trailer because I was keeping up with it, and I went,
Oh yeah.
whoa.
Did your fucking brain go Super Saiyan?
Yo, he's in, boys.
And what, you did like a Mega Pog champ when you saw it?
Yes.
If you could reenact your reaction, what would it be? Fucking chimp ass. Yeah, and so you just bought the game as soon as it was on sale after that, or did you just buy it at full price?
Just bought it.
Huh. And Gogeta was your first main,
Oh hell
I'm
yeah! It
guessing?
was him. Uh, yeah, it was him, Super Saiyan Vegeta, Goku Black.
Oh yeah.
That was my first main team.
And then they died quickly, I'm guessing?
No, I played through it. It was super fun, but obviously none of my other friends had it, and I was still a shitter.
Oh yeah.
But then season 3 rolled around, and UA Goku came along. So my main team then was Gogeta, Vegeta, Super Saiyan, and then UI Goku.
Yep.
But it slowly came to realize to me, Gogeta could not pull his weight in a lot of scenarios.
And you had to let that boy go.
Yeah, I swapped him out for Vegito. Then I
Oh yeah.
swapped out Vegeta Super Saiyan for like a bunch of people. Uh, the final one was DBS Broly until this recent patch where my new main team is going to be Vegito as the starter, Gogeta as the
Yep.
mid, and UI Goku as the anchor.
Okay, yeah, so you're still rolling with the UI Goku. Didn't they attempt to nerf him, but it didn't really work in this patch?
It wasn't a nerf, like whatsoever. I thought it was a nerf, it was
Fuck. UI Goku hurts me, and so does I just it hurts me to go up against Vegeto's UI Goku and Gogeta's. I don't know why. It's just I'm not super knowing of their mix-ups, and it hurts. Mm,
not. I mean, yeah, that could become a problem. But obviously
yeah.
the biggest problem for like UI Goku is he doesn't have a grab. So if you can conquer his high-low mix-up, you essentially have his entire mix-up under wraps.
Yeah, yeah. That's fair. But other than that, I've been playing quite a bit of Street Fighter, and that's very fun. You been playing much of Street Fighter, Zach?
Been playing a bit. It has a super weird combo structure that I just my my hands they are used to DBFZ.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like
I've
grabbing onto
really,
a
I've,
Mongolian child. It's so much more skinnier than a regular child.
it's so hard to keep your grip. They just scurry away. Fuck. I actually like the combo system. It took a bit of getting used to with all the heavy, medium, and light kicks and stuff. But I like it. Sure, you can't necessarily do touch of death super easily or at all, and sure you can't like have like full combos where you're just carrying someone, but I still think it's really fun, and I've found my main who is Seth, and the story, surprise
Chun-Li has
surprise,
jiggle
is
physics.
yes, but the story
She has
is
like an
kind of
immense
interesting,
titty bounce.
and I want to get crushed in between her thighs, bro.
Oh, I did not say that.
Yeah, but it I enjoy it even if it was shit at launch. It's still fun. They definitely fixed it for me at least. Mm. Do you have any criticisms for the game, Zach?
Um, there's probably a problem with like all versus fighters or whatever you'd call them, where it's just like it not having anything like just like a down medium medium jump up. Like there isn't a true bread and butter
Oh yeah. I mean,
because all the characters
they
play like very wildly different.
yeah, that's fair. Like with DBFZ, there's like that heavy jumping into light medium, heavy kick down, which is the essential bread and butter, and then some characters have janky heavies in the air, where it's just kind of like, oh no, I gotta figure out a way to bring them back to the ground, stuff like that. But there is still like true bread and butter combos.
Hmm.
But in Street Fighter, you just have like there are some bread and butter combos that do span over multiple characters, but then there are some where there's only one combo that only goes with this one specific person.
Yeah, but I think this is the entire philosophy that like DBFZ is the perfect beginner fighter game.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
Like
even in the year 2023, I might still recommend people just try out that training mode.
100%, yeah. Like DBFZ, it introduces it really well. There are other training steps, and especially now, you can just hop online and fight people who are at the same skill level as you, and you can still like feel accomplished when you get a win or lose because you're like, ooh, I can do this, and the game in training mode and in some ways shows where you can be like, ooh, I can do this, I can do that, and it has a lot of options for things. But with Street Fighter, oh my Jesus, I hate the the tutorial sucked ass, and I don't like it. You can't do a good game tutorial, Capcom. But and even with the, you know how in Dragon Ball Fighters, how it on the left side, if you go into training, it has like this is your direction when you press the button.
Hmm?
Street Fighter does that, but in the main training sort of area, which is, you know, the grid arena, in that, they made it so that all of that kind of blends in, especially the directional moves blend in with the background. So sometimes it's kind of odd to do that. And they also don't expressly tell you how to do the Z joystick maneuver, which sucked and it's still kind of hard to pull off for me at least. But I can still pull it off. It's just kind of painful sometimes, and I also got to. It has vastly different mechanics from DBFZ. Like DBFZ, you only have quarter circle forward, quarter circle backward, and half circle backwards or forwards. With Street Fighter, you've got full circle. You've still got your quarter circles uh
You
and
can make
your
a fucking
half
inferno.
circles. Yeah,
I'll try
and
this
like,
gluten chip that my dad gave me.
damn. But
Oh, yeah, it's pretty
you
good.
also, yeah,
Mm,
is a good chip, bro.
would
Yeah,
recommend.
but for I guess what you call the finishes for the level threes and such, you have to do double quarter circle forward, which is just a pain to pull off. And so you can really mess it up and just end up either doing a normal quarter circle forward or just kind of seem like you're jumping in the air and not pulling off the technique correctly.
I'd also like to
Which, you
say,
know,
One thing
Yeah.
I love about Fight is a lot of people hate this, but I love the super dash.
I think the super dash is a pretty cool
It
mechanic,
is.
and I
I
do
think
like
it's
it
an
in
amazing
neutral.
mechanic. No,
It kind
no
of
cap.
gets rid of the need to know how to use footsies. While with Street Fighter, it's very heavily
The thing is
footsies
still is though,
based.
you need to use assist, or else at higher levels you're just getting 2H'd,
Yeah, that's
which
true.
which can get massive damage.
Yeah, but I agree. The super dash is a really good mechanic in my opinion. It is, yeah, I've just listed off why it's good. It kind of gets rid of neutral and footsies in some ways, so you have more action while you're playing the game,
But
but
it's also
also
a
it
very
adds
risky
an
option
element
because
of
if your
strategy.
opponent has the reaction time,
Yeah, they can pull it off really easily, and they can like deal massive amounts of damage. And it's just a fun mechanic. It's a good mechanic, and I've actually never heard someone say that the super dash bad. So kind of odd, in my opinion, that you heard that somewhere.
um, I think that it getting rid of neutral and footsies in a major way is the reason a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah. Do you think people just enjoy playing footsies, or what do you
Yeah,
think the reason is?
because it's either that, because obviously I talked to you a little bit earlier about the 4 stages of the game:
Mm,
neutral, footsies, advantage, disadvantage.
yep.
A lot of people, because Super Dash essentially turns it into advantage versus disadvantage instantly.
Yeah.
All depending on like the resources of like number of assists you have, the range of
Mm,
your character's tools, how much health you're on.
yeah, yeah.
But I think a lot of people who excel in footsies and neutral don't like that because they might have a bit of a poor defense, say, and so
Yeah, yeah.
they rely on, instead of blocking, of having an early or advantage with like a first hit.
Yeah. 100%. But yeah, overall, Dragon Ball Fighters would be a really good game to recommend to people. And yeah, I guess, would you say that footsies and neutral, or at least footsies in general, is a more advanced sort of mechanic, or would you
Um,
say you should
Footsies is
learn it
a unique
immediately?
concept because a lot of people in that range just want to throw something out, whereas for
Yeah,
fighters, there's a lot of jumping around and poking at your opponent.
yeah,
Like
okay.
you'll throw 2 key blasts and then wait for them to super dash through it or down heavy through it. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
waiting to see what your opponent does.
Mm. But do you think like you should introduce footsies immediately, or is it fine to be like, oh yeah, by the way, now that you've gotten used to these mechanics, here's another one that
I think
you kind of
something
need to know.
important would probably be, I might actually do like obviously basic inputs and stuff, then
Yeah.
go to neutral, then combos, then footsies.
So you think footsies is like the last thing that you really need to know?
Probably disadvantage would be the last thing, like teaching people how to block, what to expect in a next move.
Yeah.
Because obviously, without knowing how to defend yourself, certain characters are just going to fuck you over, like Z Broly and Kid Buu, and even
Oh yeah,
Super Broly
definitely.
will fuck you up if you have a piss poor defense.
Yeah. And his stomp is deceptively low, which kind of sucks. But yeah, definitely. I think blocking would be a really good thing to learn really early on
Yeah,
because
but
then,
that
yeah,
just like actually have a blocking thing instead of just Piccolo occasionally going, because that isn't, you're not blocking a combo string, you're blocking footsies, like to an
yeah,
extent, but you can't poke back.
yeah, okay, yeah. Mm, that's fair. What are your thoughts on like the stories that have stemmed from fighting games or uh, game like communities in general?
Oh,
Like
like
the battle between Sonic Fox and Goichi, or I don't know, the
the Moment
rivalry of
37, shit like that.
yeah, that sort of stuff.
I
Or
love
like
that
even
shit.
ongoing stories. Yeah,
Like yeah, fucking Hungry Box v the World, I guess.
yeah.
Shit like that. I love that, cause that can get real as fuck.
It's like
It,
a
it
real life anime in some ways,
it's
cause
real life wrestling. I'd compare it to, cause
yeah,
it's very grounded. Like it's people playing games competitively. So
yeah,
you wouldn't really expect people to be showing up in fursuits and having immense beef.
yeah. I'd compare it more to an anime, at least from what I've seen, because you've got the whole Goichi and Sonic Fox, which is the one that's always stayed in my head, where it's just kind of like these two dudes continuously in this like Goku and Vegeta sort of spectrum, or like Naruto and Sasuke, where it's like they're even at some point and then one will pull ahead and then another will pull ahead, and then at the end you have one crying because he is just amazed that he won, and the other one's patting him on the back and congratulating him. And I think stuff like that is glorious, and that's why I love these sort of stories, especially from the FGC and Smash. And Hungry Box does sacrifice kids to win games. That I'm putting that out there.
You think it's 100% fact? No cap?
No cap, Hungry Box kills children.
Oh yeah, what I've just sent you is something we'll probably have to talk about earlier, but I just finished it, so I thought I'd do it now.
Something that I had to what?
I just sent you an image on the phone about something we're going to talk about later.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, I well, what do you have on the suggestions list?
On the ideas slash suggestions. One thing I
Yeah,
need to get to talk about is how Part 6 and Ava create an unsatisfying ending. And I found out why
okay,
these two in particular grind my gears. Because originally I defended Evangelion.
yeah,
Originally. Then I thought about it and I realized, no. First,
okay, well,
I want to talk about Part 6. Because that is
okay,
like
and once you finish that, I just wait. Actually, which end of Ava? Are you talking about the movie or the end of the show?
the the fucking I have a bad memory when it comes to this shit. The one where it's the fucking Red Sea and fucking
What?
you know when the entire sea goes fucking red because like the collective conscious of all of humanity.
So you're talking about the movie?
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm pretty sure the final
Okay.
episode isn't it just like Shinji's psyche throughout the final episode or
Yeah,
something.
like the final two episodes are Shinji's psyche, but there are two different endings uh from the point where Karu comes in, because on one side, I don't think he ever. Oh, he might. No, he doesn't exist in one universe, and then in the other one, which is the show, he does exist, and
Wait,
he ends
Karu,
the
do you
entire
mean
thing
the guy who Netflix made as
straight.
Shinji's
Yeah,
best friend? Yeah.
yeah. Talk about that
I
guy.
feel like he's kind of necessary to the plot.
He's necessary, but like
I'll include
it's
him.
two different.
I feel like he helps a lot.
Okay, yeah, I guess you could
He helps a
include
lot in
him,
my
but
argument, I should say.
okay, yeah, sure, whatever. But look,
That,
all I'm saying is, from my knowledge, Karu either doesn't exist or it gets past it in the movie,
yeah.
because it just wouldn't really make much
I'm gonna start
sense.
about part 6 because it is a leech on my existence.
Alright,
It
go.
has drained my soul for too long. All right, part 6. Well, first of all, let's look at the part 5 ending and the main villain. What is
Diablo.
Diablo? What is it? No, let's go back all the way to part 4. What do
Yeah.
Kira and Diablo want? They want to control fate. What do they get for this? Insufferable torment. They face excruciating pain and horrendous deaths.
Yep.
What does Poochie want? He wants to control fate. He wants literally everyone to control fate. He wants fate to have as little power as possible. He wants the future to be known.
Yep.
He wins.
Yeah.
He wins. That it cut and dry. He wins, which completely flies in the face of the past two, which were like, don't try to control fate. Instead, either accept fate or fight against it fight with it,
Oh yeah.
I guess. Part 4 it's a bit more messy when compared to like the other themes because it has a theme of defying fate, but it's Kira's fate, so But obviously the theme there is that fate is real and it is the most powerful thing in the universe. Which is why God Experience Requiem is unstoppable as it is. It is fate incarnate. It is the concrete fate that exists in the JoJo universe.
And what about them? In part 5, there's a stone ball that basically, like, does things for fate. It kills people because it's fated to
it's
happen.
like you are fated to die soon. So either accept your death or suffer the painful one.
Yeah.
And the final arc, like, of part 5 was all about... Because Araki wanted to make sure that the theme was clear.
Yeah.
That fate is unstoppable. He didn't want them to think that like Jono was defying fate. It was just a nail in a coffin to be like, yeah, the theme is that fate is unstoppable, and to fight against it and to try to control it is a fool's errand. But at the end, Bucciarati defies fate in staying alive, and he is undoubtedly punished for it with an excruciating death that lasts multiple days.
Yeah, definitely. And so, in that regard, the entire philosophy of it was, don't try and defy or control fate.
Yeah, because that entire thing with both Diablo and Bucciarati is that they both attempted to defy fate, one for nefarious and one for good reasons. They end up being in the same position, though. And
well, I mean, one has infinite death and the other just is dead.
I mean, he never got to do a lot of the things. The underground crime, drug ring still exists. He still had a lot of regrets. Narantia died, Abakio died, and they're just gone.
Yeah.
He faced...
But, like... I don't think Bucciarati, like, really had a worse death.
It's
or a death
obviously not
Diablo.
as bad as Diablo, but it's still the principle of immense pain because you attempted to defy fate.
Yeah.
And then once again, part 6, Poochie just does it. And the whole thing about, like, do you believe in gravity? Poochie tries to control both his stands. His final stands are about controlling gravity. Seamoon directly, and the concept behind Made in Heaven is that he controls gravity because gravity affects space-time.
Yeah.
Araki heard that and thought, okay, gravity will control the time and speed everything up.
Yeah.
And so that's what he does. And that's a really cool ability. But you can't have two stands that are fate incarnate, while one conveys the message so much better in comparison.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the day, Made in Heaven is Poochie's stand. It is Poochie's final stand. GER is Requiem. It is fate. Because it is beyond Giorno. It confirms this. It is more intelligent than Giorno. It better understands itself compared to Giorno. And can do things completely independent of Giorno.
Yeah.
That is fucking crazy. And it much better represents fate, because fate is eternal. It is everywhere, and it's unstoppable. King Crimson's ability comes down to fate in the end. the
Yeah,
fate of
now
the
he
actions
tries to defy
people.
it.
He tries to control it, despite the fact his entire ability is about seeing fate, seeing what is unstoppable and attempting to stop it. So he gets the repercussions.
Yep.
But not only that,
And
not only does it fly in the face of the themes, it flies in the face of Jotaro's character.
how?
I believe this too because in both versions of in part 3 and part 4, he was very standoffish, but he still cared a lot.
Yeah.
In part 6, he was really nothing but a plot device.
Oh yeah,
And
I can agree with
and he
that.
just comes at the end and says, "I'm going to save everyone."
And then he doesn't do anything
And
realistically.
his final action is protecting his daughter. That's awesome. Oh, but Jolene still dies.
Yeah. And like
Damn.
only like a chapter or two afterwards as well.
I think it's less than it.
It
It's
might
the
be in the
next
same chapter.
chapter. It might actually be in the same.
Yeah, well, like she dies a couple of pages, literally.
Yeah, fucking amazing choice, Jotaro. One person who could stop it. Fuck me.
Mm.
And that's just a fly in the face, because, sure, Jotaro has made reckless decisions before, but this was framed in a positive light, as if this was what should have done. Even
Yeah.
him standing up to Dio was still a foolish action, because a lot of damage got done, and he could have died so many times.
Yeah. And the entire thing was at the cost of 3 of his friends.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's all consistent. And then part 4 rolls around. It's like he's emotionally much more mature, but he
Yeah.
doesn't express that he's much more emotionally mature.
Yeah, you still see the part 3 in him, but you also get the sense that he has matured and he's grown as a character
Yeah,
from that point.
obviously not physically because he was 17 years old, almost 200 centimeters.
Yeah.
Could fucking dunk on LeBron James. Yeah, but an entire thing is that he made not many rash decisions. Every decision he made was because of his experience and his knowledge. The most reckless is giving all the bullets to Josuke. And even then, there's the
Yeah.
argument there that he just purposefully, got hit a few
He's trying to
times.
train Josuke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Star Platinum is fucking deadly accurate.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
He throws a dog at a guy
He fucking
from like
does.
miles away.
Like, the fucking fly in Dio's picture, he could draw out every single hair on its body, and yet it had the resolution of a camera in the fucking 80s, which is like 70p.
Yeah. Jesus.
And so it's just
But
like,
yeah.
oh, I guess Jotaro's character has regressed. But it's a good thing, I guess. And
Hmm.
obviously, then there's the all encompassing problem that the only character a lot of people cared about at this point was Jotaro and Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
They were the most interesting characters, even if Jotaro was still.
In a comatose state.
And they both die to Poochie, and what Poochie gets is, oh, he dies because he inhales ozone. That's really sad. And then Emporio, who's in the same room, is much smaller,
Is younger.
yet is younger, is likely panicking more,
So he's
just
inhaling
just
more.
survives.
He live.
And then of course it's like, oh hey, it's a new universe. And oh, Jolene's there, except it's not Jolene, because they have fundamentally different memories, experiences, personalities. Even if slight, that's still true. They have none of the
Yep.
memories you made together. They are nothing but a stranger who resembles a friend.
Yeah.
Which is depressing, but true. And they just treat that as a big moment. And of course, fucking... Isn't that like where that fucking image of like Ogre Jotaro comes from?
No, no, that's not where Ogre Jotaro comes from. Jotaro is not shown in the new universe. The Ogre Jotaro image is from like when Jolene was reminiscing about her father would never come to see her, and one time in jail, she thought it was him, but it was just some ogre looking ass dude in like a
Okay,
Jotaro like
I
get
was
up.
really, I was really scared that fucking Araki did that.
Fucking
Yeah,
yeah,
but either way, it's just like these are fundamentally different characters from any of the ones we care about.
yeah,
Also, it makes part 5 feel like it is filler, which it isn't, because it is very important in the themes of, you know, the
of
parts
JoJo.
about fate. Yeah,
Mm.
originally it was they are fighting because of fate. That was the first really 3 parts. Part
Yep.
2 obviously had some like fate is on certain people's sides. Part 4 was the
Yeah.
most in depth, where it was like fighting against fate, what it means to control fate. But part 5, creme de la creme of the OG universe, perfectly encapsulates the themes of the entire thing. And then you move on to part 6, defies the themes, has unlikable characters. And fights make me want to, I'd say sleep, but then I might dream of those fights, so no shotgun to the head. Just just put the barrel in my fucking nostrils and aim it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
I'd like
just
to see what those stand fights look like animated, because I know some of them I found fun,
well, it's just
but
some of them are too long.
that is true.
Like just kill them already.
Yeah.
We weren't waiting. We weren't like watching strength. Like, oh man, is Jotaro gonna come out of this? It was how is Jotaro gonna come out of this?
Yeah.
It wasn't ever about the if. It was
It's like,
about the
how are they gonna
how.
overcome it? Yeah.
And so when you take multiple fucking pages to explain the concept of feng shui, well, like, god damn it, just kill him already. Shoot him in the head.
Snap his neck. Do something.
Fucking show him a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare. He'll have a fucking heart attack and die. God damn it.
Yeah. Oh my Jesus.
It failed. Even if it reached the standard of part 2, I still think it would have been supremely disappointing.
Disappointing.
Yeah, because like part 2 is a good part, but you just had banger after banger, and it was supposed to be like, oh, part 6. There's been a slow improvement in the parts. And then it just
Uh, It just
goes
gets all
out on
torn
a
away.
wet and weak fart. What
Like
used to be
you've had all this like these beans and shit, and it's really building up, bro. You
what
can feel
used
it
to
in
be a
you.
cyclone is now just a
It's like a gust of wind, a breeze.
the fucking wind from the fan that slightly knocks up your test paper and you lose your train of thought.
Yeah. Fucking- yeah, definitely.
Also, I need to say this. Poochie looks so fucking dumb. His eyebrows reach to his head. Reach to like the top of his hair. Like what? Come on. What?
I
I would
I think
fuck
it's fine.
it's so distracting for me. I'll look at like a cool scene where it's like it's Poochie awakening this new power, and it's just fucking oh bruh, big ass eyebrows. Is that to cover up for your goddamn gigantic ass forehead? Shut that shit up.
I I honestly think the design's fine. I think it works. That's all I'm gonna
I
say.
just dislike it. And then Evangelion. At least from what I gathered of my watching, I might be like completely wrong about this, but the entire show is about like human persistence. And despite how terrible life can be, to always move forward. Like that was what I got from Shinji. Like each time he wanted to give up, but each time he came back. It may have gotten annoying in a lot of parts, but it was still like he's like just a kid, so it's excusable.
Mm.
And then just the final episode happens. So like why? It's not just a question of considering so many fucking characters we cared about are dead. There was no positive change arc. All these characters stay the exact same. Nothing changed except less people are alive now. That is it.
I mean, I guess, like, you continue with your point.
It was just
I gotta
like
ponder.
it was all this build up, and it could have been something really awesome. Like, Shinji persevering for the people he cares about, and maybe dying at the end, and all the characters that reflect that that was a child. His father like realizes he fucked up majorly, and he just reflects on his actions throughout his life, or something. But when it's just, wow, life kinda sucks, man, 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 life sure did suck. Guess it's over now, and that's it. You cannot expect that to be satisfying in any form. It is
Yeah,
like
hmm?
it's like the shitty off-brand alcohol of anime. You expected something. Like obviously you didn't expect it to be a masterpiece. But you still expected it to be good, not some fucking dog shit. I tried to make that analogy work. I really did.
Yeah. Like, I I think the entire I'm just going this based off of what I can remember in my head at the moment because I adore the series. It's more on each character having their own sort of challenges in life. Like Asuka had a very traumatizing past. Her mother killed herself, and she thinks it's because of her. Shinji was left as a child by his dad and his mom, and he finally gets to see his dad after so many years.
And it's
His
just to
dad
get in
just
the
like
Ava
uses
Shinji.
him, uses him. Misato, yep, she's had another traumatic past, but the only way she seems to be able to deal with is through sexual desires and alcohol, which then lead her on a terrible path. Rei is just straight up a clone and is devoid of emotion.
There's like
Um,
18,000 rays.
yeah, and that's the
There's
whole
those
thing. It's
too
like
many.
she's, you can just get a new Rei and it'll be the same person. That was kind of the idea with Rei's character, was that Shinji's dad thought of her as just like this doll that he could use.
He thought about
And
that about
I
everyone, really.
I guess, but
He loved
it was just
nothing and
kind of
no one except his wife.
like you see times where he's like, yes, I want to save Rei and stuff, and then like it's just kind of ultimately he's like, you're really just a doll to me. You have no soul. And just some of the other characters do have other deep moments, like can't remember the blonde-haired chick, but
The blonde-haired
her entire thing was,
scientist.
yeah, she was trying to live up to her mother because her mother was the supercomputer, and she didn't have time to spend with her mother because she was continuously working on this, and so many other different sort of paths that could have been taken. And I think the ending pays off pretty well. Humanity kind of gets what it deserves by meddling with forces beyond its own, by trying to create a perfect world. And, it's just Shinji's too mentally damaged. People kept on pushing him away, and when he tried to
Alright,
get
that is
close to
where my
people,
biggest difference lies then.
what?
Plato would think this show is fucking stupid. That is an actual argument that I can and will make here.
Okay.
Plato believed in a thing called, or at least a concept called the forms. They are the perfect version of everything we see in the world today. The perfect apple, the perfect tree with an apple on top of it, the perfect fork, the perfect spoon, the perfect spork, all of that. He
Yeah.
believed it was the job and responsibility of leaders to attempt to contemplate the forms and apply them as best as possible. What that he was never saying that it could ever reach the forms. Obviously, life was imperfect, but it's
Yeah.
all about trying to get the best version of what you have. And to just say, "Oh, life sucks, deal with it," is so stupid. I actually fuck that. And it
Yeah. Well,
in
I'm
trying to improve something as a negative, fuck off.
I'm just taking all of this off of what I'm getting off of the top of my head. I haven't looked into this subject for a long time, so take what I'm saying with a fucking kilogram of salt. But
I could chug a kilogram of salt and still not drink any Gatorade.
I still
Fuck Gatorade. You my homies hate
ul-
Gatorade.
ultimately, yeah, I can agree that well, there are probably flaws in the writing of the story, but I still just enjoyed the ending, and I personally found it satisfying.
I mean, you have to go to the point of if you want something of like humanity gets what it deserves, just watch Devilman Cry, baby.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it instead of it being like humanity tries to improve, therefore bad, it was an entire thing of like, here is humanity at its actual worst. Here is humanity in its most depraved, ugly, and disgusting form. And here's humanity at its best. Oh no! The depraved side just stabbed the good side with a shiv made out of teeth. Uh-oh. Guess everyone has to die. It's
Mm,
it taught it doesn't say, oh no, everyone's dead because of like really anyone's fault. It is the collective displeasure and horrifics of humanity that led to its downfall. That led to God saying, "Send down the seven angels and fuck that planet up."
yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Here's a question that I've been thinking. Do you think something has to have a solid philosophy behind it for it to be enjoyable, for it to be interesting? Do you think something has to have like a big creative drive that things have to mean certain things in
Creative
something for
drive,
it to be good?
yes. Like a meaning and a philosophy, not entirely.
Do you have any like idea of any shows that don't necessarily have a meaning or philosophy behind it that are
Look at My
good?
Hero. It doesn't really have a philosophy. It has themes, but it doesn't have an overarching philosophy that encapsulates all of those themes.
Yeah, that's fair. Would what's the
I love
overarching theme of Dragon Ball?
to better yourself,
Oh
to
yeah.
always improve,
Yeah, I
to
see that.
never stagnate, think you're perfect, or even just get lazy. Just always move forward, always attempt to better yourself. And that is expressed through Goku being a better combatant.
Yeah.
And I think that's
And then
awesome.
he dies.
It's a,
He just fucking
it's a
dies.
simple concept of just of improving yourself, of self improvement. It also has, and under that umbrella, there's a lot of themes of hard work versus talent, which then leads into nature versus nurture.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Mm.
Ultimately, if I had to, because I think the best show for that example would probably be One Punch Man, but I dislike that show.
Why do you dislike One Punch Man?
All of its jokes for me land about as great as the debris from the fucking Twin Towers landed on innocent civilians. You know, not great. I found none of the jokes funny. which is like surprising because Mob Psycho, I cack at every joke it makes.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the funniest shows there. But it also actually could also be used as a great example. It has a kind of depressing theme, but it uses that to its advantage.
Yeah.
The entire theme of Mob Psycho is that nobody is special. But then that
Yeah.
also means that you can do anything then. Neil
Yeah.
Armstrong, therefore, isn't special, so you can do what he did.
Mm.
Everyone
Yeah.
has their talents. Everyone has advantages and disadvantages. No one is free from either, and
No one's perfect.
yeah, no one's perfect. But that shouldn't be something that should depress us. It should just be, oh well, this person I idolize isn't perfect, neither am I.
Yeah. Okay. Mm. That's very true. And that's a good point.
I
Yeah.
think in some of the scenes it gets a little lost. Like, despite episode 8 being one of my favorites just because the fight is beautiful and it shows off the relationship between Mob and his brother,
Yeah.
I think it sort of jumps the gun because it probably should have been divided into two episodes. One which probably establishes it so it can fit within the larger themes, and then the actual fight.
Yeah.
So that's more of a thing of it being rushed than actual like a true negative.
Yeah. That's fair. Mm. Do you watch thrillers often, Zach? Do you watch like live action thrillers like X-Files or
Not really.
anything like that? No? They're not your
Oh yeah,
taste?
I'm reading Thriller Bark. Oh wait, you don't know what that
What?
is. Thriller
What
Bark
what is
is
that?
after the wait, what arc are you up to in One Piece?
I'm still in Skype here. I'm just gonna finish Dragon Ball and then I'm gonna read One Piece.
Oh, I literally cannot say the names of these fucking arcs without spoiling it. But
I
the current arc I'm on is called Thriller Bark. It's
yeah,
generally considered uh
the
one of the
worst.
worst arcs. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it, no cap.
Yeah. Is it is it the worst one you've read so far?
Um, it has an alright beginning, but the worst I've read so far is the one just after Skypia.
Oh yeah.
Like, it wasn't
Mm.
so bad I wanted to take a break from it, but it was one where I was like, why?
Mm. Are you pre-time skip or post-time skip?
Pre-time skip.
Okay, yeah.
Uh,
What do you
I- I'll
yeah,
tell you when
go.
I'm at post-time skip because I'll be like talking about Marineford probably.
Okay, yeah. Um uh how do you think a good time skip is done? Like, I look at Naruto and I say, that's not the best time skip because Naruto just essentially seems like he's just kind of stronger. He hasn't really learned
Yeah.
any new techniques or anything between Naruto and
One
Shippuden.
Piece, I think One Piece does it beautifully because Marineford, like, if the overarching goal of the series wasn't the One Piece and it was just like the entire thing was free his brother or like fight the government,
Yeah.
that could have been the ending and it would have been satisfying.
Yeah.
But when you have something that expansive and powerful and so impactful on the characters, your characters need a break. Or else it
Yeah.
feels like they're being tortured. But also, it let Luffy emotionally mature in a natural way,
Mm.
so that it wasn't too jarring of a change. Because obviously, if he instantly went to his new version, because personality from at least from the limited shit I've watched and read, because originally I never planned on reading One Piece. but there is a minor change in his personality. I think isn't it like every character's? I don't know, but
I think every character does change, like their personality and all.
yeah, but it allows sort of the world itself to breathe.
Yeah,
Where
allows
it's
it to
like,
grow off screen and like mature, so that you have new things to see.
yeah, it sort of gives characters a second backstory.
Mm. Yeah,
Obvi-
because you have like that
obviously,
time in between.
yeah, but it also it let the story itself breathe, which I think is the most important part. Because
Mm.
it's sort of a thing of this was a huge collage of the themes of One Piece, where it's like adventure for the sake of adventure, dreams, all of that coming, and a lot of it dying. It was a very
Yeah,
negative arc. Obviously, changed around a slight bit to be a bit more positive would have been an amazing ending, but it's not an ending. It is
it's
just a
just
change in the direction.
yeah, it's a continuation more or less.
It's like a sequel series rather than like one
A
continuous
full
show.
stop. Yeah,
That is like One Piece 2.
electric or no longer electric boogaloo.
Because apparently, oh no, you're still on Skype, yeah, fuck.
Yeah. I'm as soon as I finish Dragon Ball, I'm definitely just gonna
Okay, no, fuck, I'm gonna
continue
say it.
reading.
Yeah, unlike Anaru, because now he's on the fucking moon.
I, I,
He vibing up there.
I,
Yeah. But
mm,
One Piece, like, this will probably change when I reach certain arcs. Like, the ones I'm looking forward to are, obviously, Marineford, um, the Dressrosa arc, which features, main man Don Flamenco, I think his name is. Yeah, Don
yeah, Don
Flamenco.
Flamingo.
Flamenco. It's not Flamenco, I know that much.
No, I've played. I swear it is, cause I played One Piece World Red and they pronounced it Flamingo
I, whatever.
or like
Whole
Flamingo.
Cake, the Whole Cake
Whatever.
Island arc, and then the current one, which is the Wano arc.
Yeah. I mean, I like the look of the Wano arc from aesthetic wise. I'm a big
It actually
sucker
hasn't
for
changed in the
Japanese
manga.
aesthetics.
Oh,
Yeah?
the Japanese aesthetic.
Yeah, I'm a big sucker for that sort of thing, and I've read a little bit of like closer to the end of Whole Cake Island, but it's got like barely any spoilers. I'm like, this is fun. This seems really interesting to read, but
Yeah,
of
and then
course I
one
haven't
thing
read the
one
entire
thing
thing.
I'm really excited for in the Wano arc is that it seems to be giving Zoro a lot of screen time. Because
Oh,
just from the
Zoro
clips that
is
Crunchyroll keeps
yeah
on getting in my fucking recommended, like 50% are Zoro, 30 are Luffy, 15 are Sanji, and the 5% is just random.
yeah okay.
Like Zoro is actually in contention for my favorite member of the Straw Hats,
Between him and who?
Luffy.
Yeah, you like Luffy?
Yeah.
You like him? You're a good
And
boy.
number
I
3 is the
yeah.
God Usopp.
Is he just funny to you, or what's your
I
whole
love
reason behind
Usopp.
that?
Not even ironically, not even for the comedy. He could be a straight-laced character, or as straight as laced as his character could be, and I'd still love him.
Why?
Just cause, fuck me, bro. You have to get up to Ennis Lobby to understand. Ennis Lobby in Water 7.
Okay, yeah.
Fuck, bro. That arc and Usopp's entire story was the closest I came to crying, like, ever in my One Piece
Okay, yeah. Jesus.
read. I felt it coming. Like,
Do you think?
I
Yeah.
have never cried at the first 10 minutes of Up. And I almost cried at the fucking ending of that. God damn!
Up Move over. We got One Piece. Do you think I should continue when I do continue reading One Piece? Should I go back to the start or should I just continue from where I left off? Because I got the box set of the manga which was from East Blue to Baroque Works and I read it like a year or two ago fully. And so that leads really well up into the Skypiea arc.
Um,
Should I just read
I
from where I'm up
actually
to in the Skypiea arc or what?
there's a channel that I watched for a while who actually inspired me to start actually reading One Piece because he took on the challenge of reading the entire series. His name is Totally
Yeah.
Not Mark. He gives a good recap of
Okay.
the series up to now. Like he's currently from the literal start, which is Romance Dawn, and he goes
Yeah.
all the way up to Mermaid Island, which is post time skip.
Okay, yeah.
They're good
But
revisions, and
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So I should just continue from where I left off and maybe watch one or two of his videos?
Those videos are actually just really good. So
Okay, yeah.
maybe like watch up to the Alabaster, then go off again with Skypiea, because that is like less than 2 hours, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Alabaster is the fourth part. And it's less than 2 hours.
Hold on. What's his name again? Not Mark. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I've watched some of his Dragon Ball videos, like on the Perfect Evil introduction and such, which is all Cell and shit. And yeah, okay, yeah, I'll definitely look at it. Mm.
Yeah, but I actually want to quickly like give my entire ranking of the Straw Hats.
Yeah, go.
Number one slash number two is Luffy and Zoro. I love them to bits. Both. Zoro has my favorite backstory out of all of them. But
Yeah,
Luffy, man, he's just your boy. He
mm.
is your boy. Number three
He's your
is
homie.
number three is Usopp. Just fucking, it is Usopp. Number four, Sanji. His joke's gone a bit old, but when he kicks into action, he's a fucking badass.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he actually has some really strong scenes. From mainly in the Alabasta saga, and a little bit in Enies Lobby and Water 7.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then, after Sanji, who is it?
It's Chopper. That
Like, do you hate Chopper or
no,
what's this?
I loved Chopper. Like there's only one character in all of the Straw Hats that I am neutral on. Or even then,
You're
I
like,
like all
okay,
of them.
yeah, yeah,
Chopper,
okay, yeah,
I fucking love him. I love his backstory, his design, the way he fights, because it is
yeah.
actually it's super creative what he does.
Mm.
And also, he has just the fucking super innocent dream of just wanting to become a doctor who can
A
cure
doctor, yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I love Chopper too, man. And then
Yeah.
what is it like Nami and then Robin?
No, it's Frankie.
Yeah.
Super. Frankie is the newest Straw Hat in Water 7 and Ennis Lobby.
Oh yeah, so you're not up to Brock or Skeleton
Uh,
Boy.
yeah, I think he's Thriller Bark.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Frankie is my man.
he's your
His
homie.
he's my home digs. Yeah. The fucking reveal that they do with him is amazing, and his backstory, it's so good, bro.
Yeah.
Like because it also serves as a semi introduction, like a proper introduction for Robin. But Frankie
Okay, yeah.
gets the spotlight he needs.
Yeah.
There was never really a there was only one point I ever thought he was spent too much time doing anything. That was at the very end.
Yep.
So obviously he's amazing. Nami, I
Yeah.
think it's the same problem with Sanji, but she doesn't have as many cool moments. Where her gag isn't really strong enough. Like
Yeah.
her fights are interesting, but they've never been my favorite.
Yeah.
And
Makes
then
sense.
at the very bottom is Robin. I like her character. I like her character a lot. Well, I should rephrase that. I love the concept of her character.
Yeah.
Her backstory, amazing. Her wants and desires, amazing. But it's just up to like how she acts around the crew that I have a real
Yeah.
problem. It might get better because she's actually done a character arc for Thriller Bark, so she might surpass Nami, even maybe Frankie, but that's a big maybe.
Yeah. Mm.
But I have a feeling, it's just a feeling in my gut, but Brooke maybe like might tie or beat Chopper.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Because I
that's
actually
fair.
know his backstory, and
I kind of do. I don't know it fully. I maybe
there's
know like
a
little
there's an
tidbits.
old clip I watched once. I think it was one of the first One Piece clips I ever saw, and it was part of his backstory,
Oh yeah.
and it just fucking hit young me, bro.
Little Zach.
Yo, I got
Your little
fucked up.
tears.
I had to listen to some Naruto AMVs to get my heart racing.
They had to bring you back from the brink.
God damn.
Yeah. On that note, I think we should leave it. We're over an hour, and
Yeah,
we
probably.
had a good talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Do the thing. I'll try and get gameplay or whatever. I enjoy editing, but lazy
Yeah, it's
school.
obviously gonna take time.
Yeah.
So, Muslims, am I right?